Hey, this is Pops. Winter Jam is this long running Christian show with multiple artists, multiple genres that are covered. I've been a fan and supporter of this for a long time, and I love to get a chance to talk to you about it again today. Before I get to my guest, go to the end of the video and you can catch all the tour dates and information. I'll scroll through that for you so you can get tickets, find out when it'll be near you, if it's something you're interested to, and also get down into that lineup so you can know what to expect. Well, folks, Winter Jam will be upon us. 38 cities. What an event. This has been just, over a decade of my life. I know this guy has been there many, many times, back on the road again after coming off a tour overseas. So, John Cooper, my friend, thanks for sitting down with me.
Oh, it's great to be with you. Thank you so much.
So let's talk about that too, because you have just come off some overseas stuff, been over in Europe, and obviously you did that incredible interview with Zuby down in Dubai and some other stuff that's gone on for you. What is the transition like from that type of touring, doing something like Winter Jam?
Yeah, it is. It's different, and we've never gone to the Middle East, so that was when somebody asked me, I was like, I don't know. I mean, does anybody tour the Middle East? And funny enough, not a lot of rock bands do. And so I think we were sort of trailblazing because now I have all these bands going, hey, we're talking to somebody about going to the Middle East. How was it? It was wonderful. Honestly, it was a wonderful experience. Amazing food, very cool people. And finding out that people all over the world, listen to the band. It was absolutely amazing. It really was. Hearing some stories, I met people that said, you guys are the reason I found God, or you guys are the reason once that I, what did he say? That he said, I haven't not used, I've not used substances since 2016 after watching you guys a performance of you live on YouTube. I was like, you watched a performance live on YouTube and you haven't used substances since? He's like, no, I checked into a program. I found God and your music helps me. It just blows you away. So, I'm amazed. But music is powerful and, music helped me my whole life. So I get it, but it's pretty incredible stuff.
Well, it's been almost 30 years of doing this. So your stories and that legacy has kind of stacked on itself, and you've built a brand around being authentic. You're the authentic rockers who just happen to be Christian. And the early part of your career, I'm sure you could speak to sort of the stigma of that, being held back by that a little bit, but the authenticity kind of wears through. And now that's kind of, I think you're getting credit for that, right? I mean, you feel like that, I don't say rewarded in an earthly way, but just rewarded in the sense of you've overcome that. Maybe that's the best way to look at it.
Sure. Yeah, I think that that's probably fair. I mean, certainly, look, you're always going to have people that don't like you for X, Y, or Z. And certainly, look, you're always going to have people that don't like you for X, Y, or Z. And, in music and in art, or if you're making a film or something, you really want to not give people reasons to dislike you. It's like the minute you see celebrities talking about politics and everybody's like, "Oh gosh, here we go." That's like the ultimate thing you shouldn't do to hurt your film launch or something. You're always going to have that, but I do think that Skillet at large was able to be real, be authentic, and I think, for what I can tell, for the most part, rock fans love that, and they don't care if they agree with our religion or what have you. I meet people like that honestly every show I meet somebody that's like, hey, just want you to know I don't really get the religious stuff, but your music makes me feel better. Thanks for your lyrics. And I love it. I'm like, yeah, that's what music does, and I think that people can sniff. This is my own opinion. I don't know. I think you'll probably agree with me based on what you said. I think people can sniff out a fake and they don't like it, for the most part. I think especially rock fans, I think maybe in pop music, you can probably be a little bit more malleable because it's all about trends. Rock music isn't really about trends. Rock music is about something, I think, deeper and more real, and people want to believe it. And as a rock fan myself, I mean, I listen to so many bands that do not believe what I believe. I can promise you that.
We could
And
do 80 hairband, but I am so with you because you're speaking. 'Cause I came from like a radio background. I've talked about it a little bit. I know our paths really didn't cross much face to face back then. I was kind of behind the scenes, maybe running a board somewhere or running the, you know, WKPOPS will be right back after Skillet. That's right. John Cooper will be on, it's like that kind of nonsense from back in the day. And now it's like, oh, no, I want to just do me. And I think that's what you're seeing because of that kinetic relationship. Music overcomes all of that. And I think what you said is really what most of us experience is in our day-to-day lives, we're surrounded by people who radically disagree with us, but we're not confrontational. We talk and just chit chat and have a normal life experience side by side. And they know, I'm not about you. I find, especially because people here know obviously you slip up and curse from time to time and you don't really talk about, graphic stuff, but for the most part, I just do what I do. I don't make a big deal about it. And people actually will self-censor themselves. I don't ask them to do that. And I think that there's so much drama surrounding all this, John. And I'm with you that look, why fuel alienating customers just on a pure materialistic reason? Why would you not just, build a brand that is as welcoming and big tent as possible? And you've done that. And I think that's what you continue to do. Right. And the Winter Jam is part of that for sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think me and you are in agreement on that. I mean, it's a weird thing that's happened in culture, not to go too far down this path, but over the last handful of years, I just don't remember it being this way 2010, 2011, and any time before then. I never remember people getting mad at you for what you believed, or like, I'm not going to be friends with you because of who you vote for or what you believe. It just wasn't really as much that way. I don't know, maybe my experience is different than other people's, but that was not really a thing back then. And I think as culture started shifting, I don't know exactly why, and I've got my opinions, which we won't get into. Who cares? But something happened that's just not healthy, and that is like, hey, if you don't vote the way I vote, I will never listen to your music. If it's just so crazy, and I sometimes laugh about it because I mean, nearly everybody I listen to doesn't believe the way that I believe. Most every film I watch, I know the people making these films don't believe or vote the way I do. And I just don't care. It's good art. That's what good art does. Good art makes you think, it makes you feel something. For me, rock music has always gotten me through a workout. I love to work out. I love to run. And when you run long distances, let's say you run 4 miles, well, that means you need 40 or 45 minutes worth of really good rock music to get you through it. And it might need to be something different than the day before, because after about a year, it gets old. You want something new. So rock music's what helps you do those things. And you need something that it grabs your attention. That's what good art does. And so for me, I just go, hey, can we just be friends and be normal? Everybody be normal and listen to Skillet. That's my pitch.
Well, and you're, like, if you listen to these lyrics of like Hero and Resistance and now Revolution and what you've done, like even Not Afraid, I think it's like, you don't have to be religious to just be like totally jamming and connecting to that song,
Oh,
that
yeah.
music. That can take a very secular feel to it. You didn't have to have the big J word hanging over it. And I'm sure you've taken criticisms from the churchy side who you don't touch, John, you don't say Jesus enough. We're not sure you're a
Yeah.
legit Christian band, right? I mean, it's like that kind of stuff too. I get it. Oh, Pops, how dare you talk about these rated R movies? And how do you, well, because that's what people are talking about. That's what we're talking about,
Right.
and I at least can be the guy that's going to be honest with you about where we're at on that scale. Is it raunchy? Is it not raunchy? What's going on? Like, you get a little bit of that too. And I think for you, you've been able to walk that line for so long, and now you're headed into another chance. Winter Jam's always this great opportunity, right? Because you've got pop artists and rap artists and people, and I guarantee it may only be 1,000 of them, but they've never even heard of Skillet, or they've never, you know what I mean? So I think it's such a great opportunity each trip, each show, whether you went to Turkey, whether you went to Dubai, whether now you're going to go to Jacksonville, Florida again, which is where you'll be closest to me. It'll be
Where we get to hang out.
yeah, maybe we'll hope so. We hope so. Yeah,
That's right. Yeah, no,
that's it.
you're absolutely right. Getting in front of new fans is so exciting. It's exhilarating. The last few years, I've been amazed at the amount of new Skillet fans, because I always like to ask, you're playing the show, and, hey, between songs, hey, how many people have never seen Skillet before? Raise your hand. And you see all these hands, and I'm thinking, how is this possible? And exciting things happening. For one thing, in that rock music is sort of coming back in. I don't want to say it's all of a sudden it's in pop music again, but rock music is coming back, and there's a whole new generation of fans. I personally think one of the reason that you're getting that new fans that are younger is because of the uh, we're talking about authenticity, and there's a little bit of a bleed over 2020 being locked in your house. All of a sudden, I think we had a more authentic picture of reality than what had existed before then. For about since around 2016 and 17, I don't know if you remember, but if you go back and listen to music from 15, 16, and 17, there was a lot of songs like, do you remember the song like, "Cause I'm happy like a room without a roof, cause I'm happy." There's like all these songs about being happy and about everything is awesome. That was the Lego movie. I have kids. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Everything's great, and we're having fun, and everything is awesome. There's even that massive band called Fun that will set the world on fire. All these songs. And I remember in 2019 thinking, all of this culture is a lie, because life is not, I mean, life is wonderful, but it's not as wonderful as all these artists are saying. Like, you're not perfect. You're not perfect the way you are. Life isn't amazing every single day. You got to go work. And most of us have to work 11, 12 hours a day just to make ends meet, to get your career going or something like that. It's not as good as what they're saying. And at some point, the bottom's going to fall out. 2020, the bottom falls out. And all of a sudden, there's a lot of young people that realize they've been lied to and that their world was fake. Those kids began discovering rock music, because rock music is real and it's authentic. And I think for Skillet, I think you make a great point. You can get all the pressure to say that you're not a Christian from one side, then from the other side you can get all the pressure to say, how come you don't say Jesus more often? How come we don't know who the hero is in your song Hero? Is it Jesus or is it your wife? And you just got to do what you got to do and be real and say, this is the song I feel in my heart. This is what I want to write about. And this is me doing the very best I can. And I think that it gets hope to a lot of people. Winter Jam will be a great place for that. We're playing a lot of new music. Of course, we'll be playing the hits as well. But Winter Jam's a great place to do that. I think people are coming for something that's real. And another thing that's doing is because there's a rediscovery of things to do with families. And I think that 2020 also did that. You see the rise of like family entertainment again, alternative news sources, podcasts like this one, where people want to find something that's family oriented. And Winter Jam is a great place for that. Skillet's a great band for that.
The links are in the description, folks. You can get tickets to all that. You can check out stuff that John's doing, get your copy of the latest Skillet album, that kind of thing. And that last little bit's a little bit of that whole Cooper stuff feel, that podcast. We're going to get you back behind the microphone regularly when you're not doing tour stuff on these days off. You sit down and just have an excuse to go on a John. The best part about John is John will get wound up. It takes him about 20 to 25 minutes. And then he spends 5 minutes apologizing around the 40-minute mark of how he's going to go over 40 minutes because someone has told him that people only last 40 minutes, which is no longer true because people listen to Rogan for 3 hours regularly now. And then from 40 minutes on is when you have gold. That's when it's the gold. So you fast forward. If it says it's 60 minutes, fast forward to 40. This is the Pop's advice. So we're going to get more Cooper stuff now that I've given you that long, wordy lead.
You know what? I will say this. That is the best and most accurate description of my podcast I've ever heard. If I was smart, what I would do is do it and then edit it together, starting at about 38 minutes and make it a 22-minute podcast.
Or you do like this. You just sit down with someone like me. We wind you up on that 20 minutes. Let's read this article together, John. We're going to go through this. And once he's red-faced and he's trying to okay, and then we just cut me out of it and just turn him loose for 20 more minutes and go, okay, folks, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back on Thursday. No, man, brother, you do good stuff, man. I'm just trying to be an encourager too. Get behind the pen to paper, write some more books, get behind the mic too, because I know you got a lot going on and doing this stuff, but it's a blessing to be able to have time with you. It's a blessing to know that you're out on tour with the family and doing stuff there. Now, you got a daughter just got married, right?
Yeah, my daughter got married this year. We're blessed. God's been so good to us, man. I'm so grateful and blessed. And in fact, I wrote a song to my daughter that's on the album. So people go check out the album Revolution. The song that I wrote for her is obvious. It's the one that's titled Happy Wedding Day. So go check it out, and it'll pull on your heartstrings a little bit.
I like All That Matters. The family montage one really kind of got me too. It kind of made me
Oh,
feel
man.
living. Someone who's been a panhead at least somewhat. I don't know, at least 20 years, bro. And then like my daughter's like diehard. She's like, my youngest daughter is now just got married too in March and just diehard. It's like I felt like we kind of live vicariously through people that when you follow someone that long, you start to, on social media now you get connected, even though you guys have to be exposed to thousands upon thousands of faces. But for us, it's like and I think it's an interesting dynamic. But like I said, folks, all the stuff will be in the description. And John, brother, man, just be strong out there. Enjoy your time. I can't thank you enough for your hanging out with me, man.
Well, that's very kind. Thank you so much, Brandon. I hope to see you soon.
All right, Winter Jam 25. That's right, 2025 January kicks everything off. $15 at the door. It's general admission if you wait that long. Here's the artist here. Skillet, of course, is headlining with Ann Wilson, KB, Colton Dixon, and the host Newsong with Micah Tyler, and then a great pre-jam artist. If you get there early, you get to hear SEU Worship, The Band Table, and We Are Vessel. Now, the speaker this year, again, returning is Zane Black. He is phenomenal. He was there previously, does such a great job. So you are going to be blessed if you hang in there for that. Now, let's get to this tour date. Starts off in January 10th in Columbia, South Carolina, before it heads down into Florida for a show in Tampa and Jacksonville, returning the following week and going across the Midwest out with Missouri and Michigan dates before heading down through Kentucky, Ohio, North Carolina, and Indiana. Then before heading into February, we go to Kentucky again, returning to Michigan, back in Indiana for a few more days before heading back south. February 8th, we'll be down in Atlanta. We're headed over to Roanoke the following week. Roanoke, Virginia, Raleigh, North Carolina, and Greensboro, North Carolina, Birmingham, Alabama. Then back to South Carolina, Tennessee, Mississippi. So we have all sorts of dates all across the eastern side of the country. It's great to go to Louisiana, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and then they end, of course, in Nashville, Tennessee on March 23rd. So as you can see, just a ton of dates, ton of different locations. They're going to be out on the road. A great experience. And the thing I always liked about this is that it is one of those things where if you are a fan of any particular genre or artist, there's something for you. If you are not a fan of, let's say, the performance that's happening right now, or you want a break, you can go walk around. There's different vendors, there's artist tables, there's tons of merch, there's things to do. Each of these shows are just like a showcase for a great time for the entire family. If you're a Christian or not, I think it's a great experience for everyone. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one.